Hello and welcome to this week's very special MFL Ramble. We've been on for 1 year. Hopefully you can see us. You can see I've got my party hat on because it's our 1 year birthday. Yay!
Yeah.
I wanted to buy I wanted to buy one of those little things that, blow out and you just get a little beep, beep.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I had to buy those. And they only sold them in bags of like 100. God knows what I'm going to do with the rest of them. But it's our 1 year anniversary, nearly to the day since we sat down for the very first time. I think it was this exact same cast, wasn't it? It was definitely you, Hoodwink. You were here, weren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's exactly the same three. Matt joined us for our very, very first show to talk about MFL. I'll take this off now. There we go. That's... No, I've got another 5 of them. If anyone wants them, tell me and I'll post them to you. But it was a year to the day since we did the very first MFL Ramble, and it's been, I think, about a year and a week or so since we joined. Since I joined, Hoodwink obviously been playing for a lot longer, and I remember the onrush of people from those early days. It was me and Hatton and Kev all joined fairly quickly. Obviously, Hoodwink and Smoggy were already playing. And then there was like an onrush of people, which just gathered pace as the year went on. But we'll talk a bit more about that in a while anyway. Before we go on and I introduce the people that we have here, although I'm sure you recognise them, we've got in the chat, we've got Laird, who's second on the podium, although really first, because Hoodwink was there with his Timmy Vaughan push to start off with. We've got Fraxy in there, waving. Hello, Fraxy. We've got Andy. Andy, you were great. I'm about halfway through When Dirk this week. I will be listening to the rest this afternoon. And so far, so good. You sound like such a nice guy that we'll definitely have to get you on the Ramble at some point as well. Got Massive Ericsson. Massive Ericsson. Hello, sir. How are you? I haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're well. Ricky Hyde, Scott Jenkins, and I'm sure we'll be getting more as we go on. But this week, as I said, it's our anniversary, 1 year. Happy birthday to us. And we are joined by Matt. Matt, the co-founder of MFL. How are you, sir?
Doing amazing. Thanks for having me. And happy birthday. Super. It's amazing to see you to celebrate your first year anniversary. And I remember when we sat down the first time, to be honest, it didn't feel like 1 year went through. I mean, it goes super fast.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how long, isn't it? But Hoodwink, welcome to the show as always, my glorious Scottish goddess. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Good
night, MFL.
Yeah. How was how long were you playing MFL before the rest of us started joining?
So I joined April 2024. So maybe 7 months.
Nice. And like the game before, like from my point of view, the game only started when I joined, because obviously that was season 1. That was when progression started. Everything kicked off then. But the game, from what I've heard, was still great before then. It was just obviously in a lot smaller scale, and they had lots of like competitions and stuff during the Euros. We're expecting a big World Cup competition next year. No pressure, but So like, were you sort of fairly involved playing the game from the early days then?
Hi, so I joined season 0.6, which was straight away. I really, really enjoyed it. And what did we have? 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, and then we had kind of, we didn't quite have 0.9. We had the interim one. I can't remember what it was called before. It was like the full.
The breakaway.
Yeah,
breakaway. That was the one. So I was as soon as I started playing it, I was like, oh, this is super fun. And season 1, everyone kind of joined the fun ways. So.
Yeah, it's been crazy, hasn't it? Like the roads over the course of this year. I guess let's go back to the start, or go back to sort of like the year. Matt, like how far, has MFL come in a year? Like, when you were sitting down talking about it at the start of season 1 with Yax and the team and Lucas, did you envisage that the site would be where it is now?
We had. I think it's a hard question, because what we usually do, we try not to plan too much in advance. We've done that for since the very beginning. We try not to have like big plans, or like where we want to be in 5 years, 2 years, even 1 year. Sometimes it's so long for for a startup, for a small company like us. And so it's always hard to really answer this kind of questions. What is really interesting is to see the difference between like where we were before season 1. We had this breakaway event, but we didn't have any player progression, didn't have any promotion relegation, no player that retired, like all these kind of mechanisms that we think made the game even better. As you said, the game was good in the beta before season 1, but I think it was lacking a universe that is really evolving, because players were not evolving. It was really static. And when we launched season 1, it's really like when the ecosystem start to evolve, to be dynamic. And so that's great to see that, and to witness the users that are having a lot of fun with their team, with their player, with the progression. Sometimes a bit heartbroken when the players retire, but that's part of the game. And so that's really amazing to see that.
I think we're getting to a point now where, like, we've had players retire, but the numbers obviously just accentuate every single season.
Yeah.
I imagine this season, I've had a penchant for buying sort of like older players because they're cheaper, but the flip side of that is that I won't have them for as long.
Yeah.
And, every season it's like, looking through, I scroll from the bottom of the screen like I do with progression to the top, just looking for those symbols, praying I don't see too many of the yellow retirement symbols. I've been relatively lucky so far. So if you could keep that luck going this for next Monday, Tuesday, that would be great. But I've got a couple of players, as I know, like Sid and Orange Fly, Bob. They've got some like seriously big players in the game that will be relatively close to. They are going to retire at some point, and they're in their 30s, so it could be at any point now. That's
the beauty of it. You never know when it's going to happen, and some players can stay for a while. Some up to 42 years can play up to 42. So yeah, you never know how long they will last.
And I think that takes me back to sort of like one of the things that I guess is the hook of the game in a way, or certainly a hook for me, is that yes, there's the tactical element with the tactics and sort of team building and buying and strategizing over, tactics that you're going to use, but also there's that RNG element, something that keeps you locked in every day. Like, are you going to get a +1 on progression? Will it be the season where that player goes +6, or will he just get nothing this season? With reward packs, when you're opening them, are you going to get, like, if I open a rare pack, am I going to get a 75 rated, left wing back? I've had plenty, please no more. Or am I going to get a 16-year-old left winger, right winger, who's 84 rated? And all of those elements just lead into sort of like the drama and chaos and heartbreak, but obviously joy as well with it. Was that something that you planned from the very start, or have you sort of stumbled into that sort of element? Or
yeah, definitely. It was in everything. Like what we're trying to do always is to find the right balance between RNGs and predictability, because we think it's when you find the right balance, that's where you make something that is fun, but is not just like a gamble, or you don't have any control. So we want really to strike to find the right balance. And so in everything that we've done, like for example, when we decided to release the players, so we decided to release them in packs, so that like a bit of here on the pack, I think it's probably the most RNG stuff, like where you when you discover your player. But then it was in building the algorithm for player progression. That's really something that we wanted to, when we decided how the algorithm will look, etc. We really tried to create it so that there is a bit of predictability, because probably if you see like somebody's skyrocketing, there's high chances that is going to continue like that. It's not something like it's sure, but it's more likely. So there is a bit of predictability. But there are also some RNG because sometimes like you can have a player that is just not progressing well, and at some point it starts to really skyrocket, or the opposite, it skyrockets and then it stops. And so that really creates something that is we think in terms of gameplay is good. It's also something we think is pretty similar to real life. Like sometimes you have late bloomers, you have sometimes players like they really improve fast, then they have a plateau, and then they re-improve, and so we really try to we always have the focus of how it is in real life, and trying to replicate that, but still having in mind the gameplay to make it fun and enjoyable and dynamic also. So
those dreaded 24-year-old flatliners where they have rapid progression, then they reach 24, and then suddenly it's just flatline. That's heartbreaking. I know Sid, I've just seen him. Happy anniversary. Good morning, afternoon, gents. Hello, sir. How are you? Congratulations on finishing 4th in Diamond. That's an incredible achievement for you. And I know Bob's a bit upset that he finished, and variants hit him hard at the end of the season. But Bob had an absolutely stunning season as well. And I absolutely know that Bob will be gunning to try and win Diamond again next season. But I had a keeper on loan from Sid who's had incredible progression, and he got legendary last day of last season, and he passed him on to me this season in silver as a loan, hoping that we'd get that rapid progression. Not a single increase all season. But it's heartbreaking. But I guess in terms of sort of like, when we're talking about the progression curve, or the progression, the algorithm that you used right from the start, I guess that's something you can't really change or tweak. Is it too much? I mean, you made some changes sort of, I think, season 3, maybe season 4, changing the average age at which players retire and making packs slightly low. But I don't know whether that's but the progression algorithm was slightly changed there. But any changes you make to it will have a big impact on the game, so that you need to be quite careful in that side.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm not sure we changed it in season 3 or 4 for the algorithm, like the progression algorithm. I think we when we launched, we did some like very quick change after the launch, where we had some adjustment to make, and that's always like we did a lot of testing, a lot of simulation, but that's always different when it goes into production on a real population of players, etc. So we had some adjustment. Then I think 1 season or 2 after that, we had a small adjustment for like really high overall players, more than 85, etc., that were probably progressing a bit too fast. So we readjusted that. But what we changed in season 4 was more like for the we didn't change the algorithm, but we changed the parameters for when we generate the players. So we changed a bit their starting overall, their potential, and the age where they retire, the distribution in the age when they retire. And so, but you're right, it's really something that we always need to be very careful. And when we do it, we make sure that it doesn't impact. For example, when we change the potential or the longevity of the players, we did that only on the new player population, and it wasn't retroactive on the previous population, because people spend their money for that, and we try, like, of course, not to change the kind of value or the way it works. Like when we sold the player, we try to have the same condition as for all the time.
Of course, yeah. Hoodwink, have you seen any sort of decent progression this season, or like, has it been a season of sort of flatlining for you?
Nothing like wild, but loads of, I think most of my agencies went +1. But I think maybe +3 or +4 is probably my highest. Some good like individuals increases, like shooting and stuff like that, maybe 5, 6, 7. But for overalls, it's been kind of steady, kind of spread out quite a lot, rather than having like a super progression player.
And I know, well, exactly, yeah. And I know last season everybody had their foil hats out, thinking that progression had changed the way it worked. And in hindsight, I just think it's that my players are getting older, and people's players are getting older. A lot of them have now reached their prime age, and the ones that are going to progress hard are probably the new ones from packs or from reward packs, and those are the ones probably that you should be looking for if you're looking for that strong progression within sort of agencies. But I know, like, we've got we've got Ron John in here. Obviously, he's got a massive agency, and when you have a big agency like this season, I've had players that have gone +6, +7, but I've got loads that have gone sort of +1, +2, and I just find it sort of like thrilling. It's heartbreaking this morning waking up and not going through my usual routine of making a cup of tea, putting the news on, sitting down and flicking through MFL to look at that. But it will be back in a couple of weeks, won't it? But
it's a rest period also to relax, to have a couple of days where there's no training and no stress of as there are some new +1. It's maybe it can be also good, but you're missing it, so I don't know.
Well, exactly, yeah. I don't know whether I think this week is quite from now on until sort of next Tuesday is fairly chilled. I think I've got one playoff game. But after that, next week for me and for a lot of managers, that is the most, the hardest you'll work all season, because you start working on training, but trying to build squads, get loans in, open reward packs. It's quite, it's quite a hectic week as soon as rollover finishes. But do you plan? A question like some people ask is about the length of the season. For me, they're just about right. And I quite like that it's always the same. Like, you have the rollover Monday to Tuesday. The playoffs are always in the same place. Everything runs the same. Is that something that was deliberate right from the start, or is that something you sort of fell into and thought, actually, this works like this?
No, I think for me, I wanted to have something that is quite regular, that is similar from one season to the other. So it creates some consistency. I think it makes it easier also, as a user to really remember what are the main timings of the season. So that's why we did it like that. And in terms of season length, it's we decided to go with 6 weeks, which probably I kind of like. I like the season length. I know that I hear sometimes that it's too long. It could be shorter, or the opposite also. So I don't think there's a real truth. But I think with 6 weeks, it's probably pretty good at the moment. Okay.
And this season, obviously, the upcoming season is I guess a big season for MFL, the 10th season that the game has been running. Have you got any sort of big things that will be dropping? I expect probably it's normally tomorrow that we start to get announcements. So don't give too much away if there's stuff that you want to hold back. But is there any sort of big changes that we can expect for next season?
Please
do give too much away. We want some alpha.
No, but I can give a bit of alpha, but I won't go into too many details. But we have some plans for this season, because it's season 10. It's also kind of our 1-year anniversary going out of beta on our side. So that's really something that we wanted to celebrate. It's also going to be Christmas time at the end of the season. It's the end of 2025, beginning of 2026. So a lot of stuff to celebrate. So we wanted to really celebrate and really focusing on this season 10. So we are going to announce some stuff. I don't think it's going to be live tonight or tomorrow. It's more like something that we are going to announce on Monday. Okay. But we got some stuff planned for the end of season 10. There will be kind of an extra week that will be quite a fun week, I think, with new tournaments, etc. So I won't go into the details, because not everything is finalized, but we are going to communicate on that soon, and we really think it's going to be a nice moment, a nice extra week in the season for celebrating season 10 and Christmas, end of the year, etc.
And was it last year that you had? Was it a wheel last year or something you had during the Christmas period? I'm assuming there'll be something Christmassy coming to the site even before like the stuff at the end of this season.
Yeah, I think I don't remember last year if we had the Christmas wheel. Maybe I know that we had the wheel for the breakaway, and that was the main structure of the season, where you had there was less rewards, but it was more like every win that you had, you can win a ticket, and you can turn the wheel and get some rewards. But I don't remember if we had for Christmas. But anyways, yeah, I think we are going to have like festive stuff. The wheel might come back for this season. So and yeah, we're also planning to have some stuff for Christmas. Last year we had a kind of a advent calendar.
Yeah, an advent calendar. You're right. Yeah, sorry, I don't know where I got the wheel from. I think someone mentioned it in the chat, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of stuff for Christmas also, and yeah, we are excited to share that on Monday.
And from what I understand from reading the sort of like the weekly dev updates, and I guess that's one thing I should compliment you on as well. Like the dev updates have just been regular as clockwork, always on Friday, and they always give you a little bit of insight to what you're working on. I just think that's brilliant for the platform and the community to get an insight that things are happening, even if it doesn't look like things are happening. Things are always happening behind the scenes, and you're working on stuff, you know. And yeah. I remember hearing about the secret project like fairly early on, and then sort of, you know, not really sort of bothering to understand about it, and then like you dropped that bomb. I think there's one with Jimbo, wasn't it, that the secret project is not only sort of come back to life, but it's happening. And people were a little bit sort of like shell shocked. People love their cartoon characters and stuff, and I love them as well. I was a little bit on the fence, then I was pro, then I was against. But looking back now, it's hard to imagine the game without like the, you know, the realistic player images. When was the point where you thought, actually, let's do this, let's move?
But it's really something that we basically had, I think, in the back of our mind, because I think the photorealistic players makes it much easier for new people to join. I think it creates like the first image that you have from MFL is really different when you see the cartoon and when you see the real players. I think the cartoon were great, and it was like a super way to start, and very like they did more than what we were hoping for. So we are super happy with that. But I think we needed something like to go more at the mainstream audience. And we think that having cartoons can make it a bit maybe too much childish or too cartoonish, and so having the real player with the real image is much better.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like the stuff you can do now with them as well, like when I'm building, like I just built an image for one of my teams using gave it the player images, gave it the kits, which is something we'll talk about in a while, you know, and it built an image of them holding the cup from one of the cup wins that I had this week. And, you know, it just makes it look so much more realistic, you know, that, you know, obviously it wasn't perfect because it was using ChatGPT, but, you know, for a very quick image that took me 2 seconds to do, using the real player images, it gives you so much sort of like potential for doing stuff down the line. Like I know a video.
That's really something. Sorry, that's really something that we want to push and do even more on our side. Like I don't know if you've seen now, we are also posting some images of the player sales, and so we can really make them like the way we want, with the pose that we want. And that's something that we want to continue to do. And we can imagine so many things to create more lore. We could imagine player interviews, player Instagram, for example, Instagram accounts or Twitter accounts, or to have a journalist that do some interviews with them, or like a press conference, or this kind of stuff that can really make the ecosystem even more real. So that's also something that we are like really focusing at the moment. But I think there's the potential with AI, with these new technology that are arriving and developing super fast, can make it like very, very good for the MFL ecosystem and to make it even more immersive and more realistic.
Yeah, I completely agree. Was it one of Ronan's players? I can't remember the name of the player now, that you did a video for, of him holding his card and like smiling, and it's just a little video that went out on socials. I
Yeah.
thought that was incredible. Like the life, like, you know, I've been looking for searching sort of for software that can build those sort of things, and it's quite difficult to sort of find them without paying loads. But you know, it's incredible the stuff you could do with that sort of stuff. Was that using software that you'd built yourself, or like other?
No, I think I don't remember which software we used for that. It's Luca that did that. But I remember I was scrolling on Twitter a night, and I saw like a French player that discovered his FIFA card, you know, but in real life. So
okay.
you know, they print big cards of them and they show them to say, what do you say about your stats? And I was thinking, wow, it would be amazing if we can do that with a virtual player in MFL that receive is kind of a real card of him, and that's speak about that, and it would make a nice parallel. And so we tried to do it. We didn't do a full video, but just a mini clip like that. And I think that's pretty cool.
Hoodwink, if like MFL was going to do a little video about one of your players, which player would it be? I think
Timmy Vaughan. It's got to be Timmy Vaughan, my hero, my second ever player that I got for a pack, I think. Club legend.
Yeah. You do sort of build some sort of loyalty to players, don't you? Like I've had some incredible offers even last season for, you know, some of the players that I packed really early on, but because I packed them in my starter packs, I'm just loath to sell them. And they sort of, you know, even if they haven't quite caught up and playing my best teams now, they still stay with the agency just because, you know, they've got like history and they've done so much. And I remember some of the moments and stuff like that.
I don't think I can claim to be loyal to Timmy Vaughan since I slag him off every week and send him on loan every season. But he's coming back next season. He's going to Daegu or Livingston, I think. Probably Livingston.
Yeah, I think he's more of a Livingston player than a Daegu player. But yeah, that's incredible. I guess, like, talking about this year, obviously, you know, the kit's launched recently. And for season 10, I know you don't want to give too much away, but you've been working on a site redesign for what feels like quite a few months now. And I understand from looking at the dev updates that I've been working, the back end has completely changed for MFL recently. It's only the front end now that stands in the way of the change. You know, is that something maybe we could see in season 10?
No, to be honest, it won't. It's not possible that it will be delivered for season 10. This redesign is something that takes a lot of time. First, it takes a lot of time on the mock-ups, on the thinking and designing it on paper. We design it on Figma, and so just to create the frame how it should look, it's long. So we've done a huge part of that, and we think it's in the right direction. But then you need to develop it, and that's where it's always what's pretty hard, I would say, is that we still have all the project going on, and so you have this big redesign of the UI that you want to develop. That is a massive project, that is a big project, and then you have also all the project that you have on the side that takes your attention, take your resource time and development time. So we are working with a freelancer to really focus on this to help us to have more resources on the development side. But it will take time. I really think it's going to be probably. Realistically, of course, it won't be before 2026, and I'm not even sure it will be Q1 because there will be so much work. I know that they've adapted, like they've changed a lot of stuff in the front end. Also, they changed the. I'm not a developer, so I wouldn't say some bad things, but they're also changing the logic of how the front end works to make it a bit more clean, to make it faster, etc. So there is this logical change of how the front end works, plus all the redesign to do. That is going to take time. So yeah, probably Q1 or even maybe Q2 2026. and it's always, the project that is like not an emergency, because we think it's a strong improvement to the website, but the website is working now like that. And so sometimes you have a new features that you say, maybe we should do that before, because it adds more like quality to the game. It had gameplay, it had new features, etc. So that's always something that at first we started to do like when we had not other project, and so that's why we decided to really hire somebody to work on that. But it's going to take time.
And I remember right at the start of season 1, I listened to Wendirk with Calver and Jimbo. And sorry, congratulations to Calver. I'm listening to Wendirk about halfway through, and Jimbo broke the news that Baby has dropped, and so Baby Calver is in play. So I'm assuming that an account will be created as soon as possible, and they'll be educating him on the game. But congratulations to Calver. But I remember back to the start of season 1, that very first episode that I listened to, or the second episode. First episode of Wendirk I listened to was one that Hoodwink made me listen to, of him. Second episode was with you, Calver, and Jimbo. And you were talking about sort of like different like things that you would like in the game and what sort of framework they're in, whether that's short, medium, or long term. And I sort of imagined that you had a whiteboard with these sort of things on, whether that be a virtual whiteboard or a physical whiteboard in the office.
Yeah.
Do you have a whiteboard in the office virtually or in real life now that has still got loads of things on it?
Yeah, we have it's not a whiteboard, it's more like closer to a spreadsheet, but we have a lot of stuff, and we try to make them like more, is it short term, is it medium term or long term? And but the thing with that is that the pace of the company, the priorities of the moment, they change so much that it's would be interesting to maybe I shouldn't say that, but it would be interesting to take this interview that I had with the guys, and to see what's going to arrive in the short term, middle term, etc. And maybe we'll see that some stuff that I said short terms are like now have been totally deprioritized because we've moved on another topic that seems to be more important at the moment, etc. So it's really, and we really try to, and I think that's also what makes MFL, that we managed to move so fast, because I think we're moving super fast compared to the number of people that we are, is that we try to be very flexible, to listen to the community, and to prioritize or deprioritize when we need. And we are super agile, and so that allows us to be very reactive to like the customer feedbacks or the priorities. And for example, this event that we want to do in for season 10, I think we really started to work on it like 6 days ago or 1 week ago, something like that. And,
wow.
And we managed to build it, and so now there will be a new priorities to do some development for this project. So but that's also what's same for Gold Rush. I think we did a good event, but when we decided, we had to shift the priorities of the development for like to focus on this project, or like what we did also with the Halloween event or this kind of stuff. And I think that's important, something that we want to keep, because it makes us like really reactive to changing the orientation and to go fast on new things.
Yeah, completely. And on the note of Gold Rush, it was the most incredible competition I think I played. Like, obviously MFL is great during the season, playing for the trophies, but just that short burst of sort of the energy in the community was just like, whatever Discord you dropped in, everybody was like, engaged, and you could see it from the numbers of games that people played. Like some people played nearly as many games as you could possibly play within the time frame.
Yeah.
Well, we know you only need like an hour's sleep a night, don't you, Hoodwink? But yeah, no, that was incredible. Yeah. Hoodwink, you enjoyed it as well, didn't you? Obviously, you played loads of games.
It's brilliant. Really, I played it like, I did sleep, honestly, even though I played almost 60 games, I think. But like every time I woke up, like for a drink or something like that, I would just quickly switch on my phone and just hit play, go back to sleep. Then if it happened again, and just through the night, it was like 2 a.m., 4 a.m. There's random games like on my results, but it was great fun. Apart from the lack of sleep, but
yeah, no, I kept on thinking one more game. I'll stay up for 45 minutes, and then I fell asleep on my sofa. Then I'd wake up when my timer went off in 45 minutes. So then I'd play another game. I think, okay, I'll just stay up for a little while longer and play one. It literally just went through that cycle all night, both nights. But yeah,
by the time you've watched the game, it's only like half an hour, so you may as well just wait.
That was the problem. It was almost the perfect time from like playing games point of view, but from a sleep point of view, it wasn't the perfect time at all, was it?
Do you want me to go through a couple of the community questions as well that were asked?
Yeah, go on then, drop them
in. So first one I've got from Jimbo. Won't be able to join the live as he's in London for the day. A year of MFL Ramble and a year since season 1. Question from Matt. What is your most memorable moment over those 12 months? And is there anything you wish you'd done differently?
But I think the most memorable moment is I think is the community event in Parc des Princes in Paris. So sorry guys. We would have been amazing to see you there, but next time. But yeah, it was a great event. It was super cool to see face-to-face people that we've been chatting with for months, for years. So that was really great. And to be honest, it wasn't something that we were expecting. I don't know what to say. We organized it, so of course we knew that it was going to happen. But I didn't expect the event to be that great, to be like a moment where I was able to speak with the community. We had also a lot of announcement to do, like the new branding, the player reels. So we spent a lot of time, and in the end we had so much fun. Personally I had so much fun, like talking with the community. There was the event on Saturday evening, and then we had a brunch on Sunday, and I think the brunch ended at midnight because we had the brunch, and then we went to another place, get some drinks, and then finished at midnight again. And then so it was really an amazing weekend, and and a great moment with the community.
I've heard at the brunch that it was basically like you, Yax, and the people like all on one side of the table, and then Palmer, etc., on the other side of the table, just firing ideas and like books open, writing things down.
Yeah. Palmer is very good at having ideas, and so we gathered a lot of feedback. It was and you know what's good is that of course you get the feedback. We also have sometimes a lot of feedbacks on Discord, but what was super good is to see the energy, the passion, and that's really what's motivating for us. Like when you see people that really care about your product, about your game, but that's super good to be in this position. And so yeah, that was really a great moment. And what is also even better is that when I was saying it wasn't planned, it's that I think almost 2 months ago the event was at the beginning was just supposed to be like let's rent a place, like a bar or something where we gather and etc. And then like when we started to say, okay, we need to start like to start planning and to do something very, very nice. We like our community deserved it, and we saw like let's see how much it could cost for the Parc des Princes, and then we started like that, and that's something that should be like small and like a very low or medium budget. It started to be like a bigger budget. So, but yeah, that was definitely worth it. And if it were to be done again, I would definitely do it again like that.
Yeah, no, it was incredible to like see the pictures and hear the feedback, and everything has just been sort of positive from that. I guess like one guess one question for me, like aside from that, what from a product point of view or community point of view has surprised you during the last year?
Yeah, it's really like, what did surprise me? I think yeah, what really surprised me is like the big boom that we had in I think it was in April or end of March.
The LED boom that I know.
Yeah,
we love calling it that.
yeah, the LED boom. Yeah, it was really unexpected because it was like, to be honest, we don't explain it really. Like, of course, that we onboard Laird, and Laird brought a lot of users. But if we look at the referrals, like you look at all the streamers that we had, I think also Nepenthes, that's the moment where he also joined.
I think someone put the net boom, and I know really like Nep has driven like a lot of views.
Yeah,
I know Laird hates it being called the LED boom, so that's why we keep calling it that.
Yeah,
yeah, probably the net boom or work the space then came on board and he brought people as well. But yeah,
but what was also what was really interesting to see is that like when you start to have like so Nepenthes and Laird and Walk the Space also that join and speak about MFL, then it how do you say that? Like the tide lifts all boats, or like I don't know if it's but for example, we saw like some streamer that we were like partners with for a longer time. For example, Queenie. Also, he had also a boom of new users at this time. So it really creates like something like from everywhere. Like there were more people. That's also like the referrals from the other users like were also very high. So that really creates a big boom, and so that was really unexpected, and but of course super nice and something super positive.
It was incredible, wasn't it? That because when I joined, I think ICE had only been going for maybe a season or so, and so obviously ICE filled up. I can't remember why, maybe by January or something. And then suddenly, like Spark, which we thought would take months and months and months, maybe even the rest of the year to fill up, filled up in a few months. It was absolutely, I mean, less than that, maybe. Was it 2 months? Yeah. It was insane.
Yeah, I think it went super fast. Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe 1.5 months or 2 months, or I don't remember. But yeah, it went super fast.
Nice. What things like over the course of the year haven't gone to plan, or things that you look at now and think maybe we should have done that differently, or maybe we could have done something there? And obviously, like from my point of view, it's been incredibly positive the whole year, but obviously there's been a little bit of negativity and people moaning, other products like attract people across, even though I think that we'll probably see a lot of those people come back to the game sort of, in the next sort of 6 months or so. But is there anything else that hasn't gone to plan, or you think you would have liked to have done differently?
I think we're pretty happy with like the product, how we developed it, the new features, so on that I'm pretty happy with that. What I think is sometimes I think we should have probably react a bit faster to the market, and by that I think we should have increased the supply a bit faster when there was the boom, and reduced it a bit faster when we saw that there was like not as many new users entering the game, because it's it can create a kind of a double effect. Like if you take a lot of time to increase the supply when there are new users, it makes the price to increase, and so the users on average, what they will consider that the top price is their new bottom price, kind of. So of course that's not possible, and there will be price variations. But I think it's better to generate a bit more supply and to avoid to have a strong spike and maybe a a nice increase than to have a spike and then it goes down, and then even if the price from before the bump is higher, it's I don't know if I'm super clear now, but
I understand. Yeah, in terms of like the price variations, if there's a huge onboarding of people, then suddenly prices will spike on players because there's only so many in circulation, and you only have 2 opportunities during the season to introduce that supply. And I remember that right at the start of that boom, the pack drop numbers didn't increase dramatically. But then obviously it took a while for that to happen. And in that time, player prices rose. But like in my mind, I've always thought that you would love to keep player prices at a fairly stable sort of rate, and that's how you can make the changes through the pack drops. I think, there's a KPI that you work to, is it like 30 players per active club or something like that? I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, it's around that. Like we try to be we monitor this KPI and we try to be like between 25 and 30. That's basically the KPI that we monitor, and yeah, that's really our, like, we try to have like the price to be probably stable, but sometimes they increase. I think there are always market variation because it's almost impossible to really stabilize the price like that. And I think also sometimes, like, and this one is mostly on me because I'm the one managing the supply, and sometimes it's hard to really plan for what's going to be next in the next months, 2 months, especially regarding the acquisition. And we had like such a big acquisition. Like when we were doing club promo, we were selling like I think we had a club promo where we sold probably more than 800 clubs, then 600, something like that. So that was like very massive amount. And if you take these 600 clubs plus multiply it by 25, then that creates like the number of players that are needed is very very important. And so I think it took me a bit of time to realize that the acquisition was more a boom than something that was going linear and going to be like that from I kind of consider that this new number of acquisition was something regular for the next following months, and we were like multiplying also our marketing acquisition efforts, like starting paid ads, doing deals with influencers. So I really had in mind that it will continue to grow, or at least to be like that. And so it happens to be not the case in August and in September. So that's I think I took a bit of time to probably reduce the supply on the pack drop. So if I had to rechange something, it would have been like to react faster to this boom, and to react faster to when the boom kind of stops.
Excellent.
Got another couple of questions, if that's all right, the community ones. One for Rory. I think, I can't mind if this was covered earlier, but would like to know if events like Goal Rush and Rabid Play are going to be coming frequently, or are they more of a seasonal, every once in a while thing?
I think this, for example, Goal Rush, it was a very great event, but I don't think it's something that we can have like every season, or like very too frequently. I think that's something that should be like from time to time for specific occasion or for specific moments. I think it's been a while that we didn't have like an off-season event, or we had, of course, all the seasons that were going on, and we didn't have something like really an event that kind of changed from the regular season. And I think we didn't, because it takes a lot of time to organize this kind of event, and we were extremely busy with the product, with the player reels, with everything from the company, obviously. Doesn't mean that we are less busy now, but we decided, okay, we need to focus on that, and to create this kind of moments, regular moments, where people can change them a bit from the regular season, which makes it, I think, fun, etc. So yeah, we want to have more events like that. I'm not sure it's going to be like every season, or I don't really know for the timing. We will see, but yeah, definitely you can expect to have more rapid plays, a goal rush style tournament, or maybe not the mechanic of goal rush, but events like that to change. Maybe not every season, but from time to time. Yeah, I think that's something that makes it interesting, and we can also plan like with the real events that are. So there's Christmas, there's Halloween. There's going to be the World Cup, as you mentioned. So there's a lot of events that we can use for that. Maybe we could also use sometimes from real football events. I don't know. There is like the Champions League final or Champions League semi-final where we could have like a special event for that, or this kind of stuff. I don't think it needs to be always like big events like Goal Rush, which took a lot of time to organize, to development, etc. But that could be also some rapid plays with a free roll and some normal rapid plays on the side, and so on.
I mean, it sounds like rapid play may be coming anyway from the tweet that came out from whoever was on the socials this morning. But I suspect from what you've said that might be related to the tournament at the end of the season. But we'll have to wait.
No, I think for this rapid play, we there's going to come very, very soon. So I don't know if we're talking hours or if we're talking days, but we're going to have like some rapid plays very, very soon, and probably that's what we saw is that it's reward days. You get your rewards, or you can basically not use them, and there's a lot of people that are not super active because, of course, it's the playoff and it's only 20% of the clubs that are involved in the playoff, or even a bit less maybe. And so yeah, creating some rapid plays at this time could be like a good moment to you still have your team for the from the season. You don't need to cancel contract because it will be done automatically on rollover day. You have your pockets full of MFL normally, and so that can be a good moment to join a few rapid play, for example. So
yeah, I've just checked actually. I've got even more than I was expecting. Like my previous record was 230,000 MFL, and I've got 334,000 MFL. So I think I had a little bit left over from last season as well. But yeah, that's incredible. So yeah, roll on reward day, and hopefully I won't spend it all over this weekend. Then, if you're going to be running rapid play,
yeah, that's a lot of rapid play if you spend it all on rapid plays.
Yeah, I need to make sure I save enough for players next week. But yeah, I guess like that. Hopefully, the start of after rollover, we did a pack opening reveal video last it was Tuesday, wasn't it? Like the first day after rollover last season. I think we're going to try and do the same again this season, because I just think it leans so much into sort of like, you know, people love to watch people ripping open packs, and no one really does reward videos. Like it's mainly about sort of like the pack drop streams and stuff like that. But so yeah, hopefully we're going to do a stream next week again. But yeah, we really enjoy opening that, and it was quite stressful opening them on air. Like you know, hoping for decent players and heartbreak when it comes along. But I think we all did okay eventually, didn't we, last season? Have we?
No, mines were rubbish.
Oh, were they? Okay.
They weren't rubbish.
Different kind of perception, different level of perception.
I think I got 2 right backs. An attacking midfielder that's actually turned out quite well. He's in my title-winning team, so or my Livy second-place team. And I can't even remember though. Maybe a central midfielder, and I didn't play centre mid. So for me, it was kind of like it was fine. They're good enough players that were just a bit boring. So this next week will be my lucky packs, hopefully.
And obviously next week, we always joke about it, one of us is getting a legendary next week. So we're definitely getting a legendary. It's our turn in pack drops.
Yeah. But if you in any case, let us know when you do it, and that's definitely also some. If you save the videos, something that we can share on our socials, and people love pack drops and stuff like that. Also, like maybe just an idea like that, but could be interesting to see like if there is something nice pulled up during the stream that could be also like a video that we use for an ad or something like that.
Yeah.
We can,
I do like the clips that you do and stuff like that now, like little things. You put out clips of like content that people put out and stuff like that. I think the Play MFL like Twitter feed or X feed, has really developed over the course of this year. There's a lot more stuff that you put out now and sort of really sort of fun stuff as well from like content point of view. But
yeah, definitely. We also wanted to use them for Instagram. For Instagram, it's a bit different kind of content, more video, more image, etc. So we also opened created an Instagram account probably in July or something like that. And so we wanted to develop it, and these clips are very good. Like we are lucky to have like a lot of content from a lot of different content creators. So you guys, Jimbo, Amrizi, I'm forgetting a lot of them, I guess. But
XP, the new kids on the block, who I love.
Yeah,
there's so many good ones out there.
Yeah, so that's super cool to see that, and so we also want to showcase this moment because most of the time it's the best. It's the best stories or the best marketing for us. Also, like to get new user. When you see that your the users that are currently in the game are excited and love the game and are passionate, then it's more like you're more wanting to enter. So yeah. And also we've had we have someone from the UK, and his name is Will. He's an MFL player, and he reached out to us. He's a student, and he reached out to us a few months ago, and he was finishing his. He had some free time during his studies, so we did a collaboration with him, like where he's helping us for this kind of task, and so he knows MFL very well because he's a player, and so he watch a lot of content and creates the clips for us. So that helps us a lot because otherwise it takes a lot of time because you need to watch them all, and so
you saying you don't watch every single bit of content.
Yeah, I think if we were watching all of them, the game would be like on standby for I don't know how long. So unfortunately, I cannot.
You mentioned my bestie Amrizi there. He's back with his MFL documentary for season 10. The best MFL content available.
Cool.
I do love it. He puts in so much effort into those documentaries, and they don't get enough. From my point of view, they don't get enough people that watch them, but they're so well done. It's basically him interviewing himself, and it's like they're just brilliant the way they're edited. I know they take him a lot of time to put together, which is one of the reasons he didn't do them for season 9. But yeah, they're well worth watching. Like if you watch this or listen to it, find Amrizi and watch those videos because he needs the support. Because if he puts out, it's brilliant, and I love the energy he brings to any videos that he does.
Yeah, I haven't watched them all, but I think I've watched a good part of them, and I love it. I think that's definitely also like see how on our side we can also like maybe bring more visibility to this kind of initiative. It's not super easy because of course we try to retweet it to communicate on it, but maybe there's some things that we can do, and so I'm saying that also for you guys or for any content creators, if you have ideas or original content that you want to go, don't hesitate to reach out to me or to us on the chat of the app or on Discord or whatever, and we are always open to initiatives. That doesn't mean that we are going to say yes all the time, or sometimes we cannot, or we don't think it's a good fit or whatever, but we're always happy to try to support content creators or content initiatives, and
Excellent. Hoodwink, I know you've got to go and pick your wheel ad up in a minute, haven't you? Is there any questions you want to ask just before you have to duck out?
There's 2 more for the community, which are probably kind of going the same bit. So I'll ask them, then I'll log off and leave and watch on the way. Scotty on Twitter says, are there any plans to introduce a 3D match engine so that we can see our actual players on the pitch? And then Sid in the chat had said, I'd asked about stadium upgrades using MFL. Better stadium means better training routines. But I will leave just now, so I'm not late for Mark. But it's been a pleasure speaking to you again.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Next year as well.
Yeah, you too, and thanks for the 1 year anniversary, and good to see you so involved in the community.
Love it. Right, bye, gents.
Bye.
Speak to you later. Bye.
Bye. So question was 3D and stadiums.
Yes, yeah. And I know that, like, just before we go on to the stadium question, I know that you mentioned a while ago that you were thinking of sort of redeveloping sort of redoing training a little bit, so it's a little bit more engaging from a daily basis. Is that something that's still on the whiteboard, the virtual whiteboard?
Yeah, it's definitely on the whiteboard. It's not prioritized. It's still something that basically we think training at the moment is working. It's passive. It's not great, of course, but it's kind of working. Like players are progressing, etc. But of course, we can imagine a much deeper system where we can have like we'll see how deep we can go, but I don't know. You can define your training sessions per day, and the more you train, the more fatigued you are, and so you can maybe not play matches. So you have also to make a trade-off between training and playing. We could imagine also to have training controls when you decide which attributes you want them to improve. If you want to focus more on defense or on shooting or this kind of stuff. So I think there's really a lot of potential for that, which would give more control to the users, more also daily activity. At the moment, you mostly check the results of the progression, which is nice. But also, if you can kind of control a bit more what you want to do, I think that can be also great. So definitely something that we want to do on the longer term. Not something that is like going to be short term, because it's going to take some time, like just to imagine the system, because now we're having a game that is like start to be pretty complex with the player progression, like the matches, the competitions, etc. So when you start to implement a new feature, especially a big feature like that, you need to make sure that it works well with the general game. And so you need, especially for the fatigue, for the XP, for these kind of things, you need to make it very strong and really working with the ecosystem. So that's something that takes time, and we need a lot of simulations. But yeah, definitely something that we'll release at some point, and I don't know exactly when that will be, but something that we want to do.
So that sort of answers Sid's question about stadium upgrade using MFL then.
Sorry?
That answers Sid's question about stadium upgrade using MFL. Better stadium means better training, or is there still an opportunity for upgrading stadiums and things using MFL?
For me, I see stadiums and training are two different things. I think for stadiums, we could have like for training, we could have like, if we really want to go that road of the like having like clubs building or club facilities, like we could have like training facilities. I'm kind of thinking out loud, so it won't be like maybe super not perfect, but how I would see it is more like if you can have training facilities that you can improve, that will maybe make your player train better or something like that. It's just also, we always try to keep in mind that we don't want to have something like super like not pay to win, but like where the best get better and better and better, like of course there is this thing already, like if you are better, you get more MFL, you have more opportunities for player, and so you can strengthen your team. But if you start to have like training facilities then that you can improve, then you train your player better, then you are like, you know, it kind of creates this kind of wheel where the best getting better even more. So that's also something that we want to we're always like trying to be careful and not to encourage too much. So we need to find the right balance. So we'll see how it can be done. And on my and for the stadium, I see that as probably something that could be totally different. There's different ways to do that. Maybe stadiums could be just like cosmetics, where they just bring you like something. No real advantage in the game, but more cosmetic, where you can customize your club, etc. That could be a way to see it. Or they could also have a utility, an economical utility, where if you own a stadium, maybe you can sell more tickets for the crowd, and then you get more revenue when your games are at home, or more MFL when your game are at home. But that's something that would need to be thought very carefully, so that it works in terms of economy. But I see that as two different things. And the question also is, personally, I like this kind of thing, but also at some point, like, how we make sure that the game is still accessible to new users, and that it's not something super complex when you have this building, plus the tactics, plus everything. So we need also to always, like, I'm always trying to have like the ideas, like what can be done, but also like how we keep the game simple for new users. So trying to find it's always a matter of balance in the end.
Yeah, I guess you sort of, you need it easy enough to join the game and pick it up fairly rapidly, but you also need to sort of keep it sort of engaging long term. Yeah. And I think it does have that balance at the moment. And it sounds like you are thinking about all of those things for the long term, of sort of bringing sort of different dimensions to the game.
Yeah.
Andy asked, I think a little while ago now, about position adaptation. Like, would it ever be possible to sort of retrain players for different positions? Because, often, like, you'll get a player, I think he said there is a CDM who has a great centre-back stat line, but because he doesn't have that on his positional familiarity, that he can't sort of really play in there because he gets -8. So is that something you'd ever thought about, or is that something you do think about?
Yeah, I think it would be like more in the scope of training. So that could be something like that, where you could train for a new position, and maybe you choose to you have some trainings where you decide to improve some attributes, but also some training where you decide to work more on the position that you want to learn, and you can learn a new position at some point. So I think if we were to do that, it would be more like inside the training session and training hub.
Excellent. I've got a question from Risu, who asked on.
Sorry, I interrupt, because I think there was also the 3D questions.
Sorry, yeah.
But in terms of 3D, I think it's for me, I see it as if you look at MFL and what new feature can be a game changer for MFL in terms of engagement, in terms of user acquisition, in terms of people talking about the game, etc. I really think that 3D is the next feature.
Not the next feature, as in that's the next one that's going to drop. The next feature, the big thing to work on, you mean?
Yeah. I really think that it's the best, the big feature that can have this impact. To be honest, I don't see another feature that could have as much impact as the 3D. Maybe there are, but in my opinion, it's one of the top feature that could have a big impact, that can be kind of game changer. The problem is that it's super hard to do.
Yeah.
But that's something that we're starting to work on, like just like creating some proof of concept. We have Quentin in the team that is really good at algorithm and creating and working on the engine and doing like mathematical stuff to create the engine, but he's also very good at 3D. So that's something that we want to test, have a little proof of concept with animation to see how it could look. Of course, if we release something, we want it to look good. Probably wouldn't be like Football Manager 26 or FIFA quality, but we still want to have like a level of quality that is good enough to release that. So yeah, we're starting on a proof of concept. Maybe there's something that is a middle ground that we kind of like. That could be like kind of an overview that is like quite zoom out, pretty like a mix between a 2D and 3D. You know, like which we call it like 2.5D or something like that, where the players like you see it from the top of the stadium, kind of, and
shadows or something like that.
Yeah, and the players, you still see the players, you still see the ball like in 3D, but you have less. In this case, you have less. You need less attention to details, to the animations, because it's zoom out. So when you are like really close to the game, you need to see like really all the details. It needs to be super polished to give the impression that it's really smooth, etc. If you zoom out a bit, I think you can have a bit less detail. So maybe that could be a possibility. So yeah, we're starting to put some energy on that, but just working on it as I would say proof of concept, and see how it goes, and see what we can create.
So you heard it here first. 3D is coming.
Whoa.
Q1 next year.
No, don't expect it very soon, but
your development team will be having a fit, like listening to.
Oh wow, why is he saying that? But yeah, just like we're starting it as a more proof of concept to see what kind of result we could have, and see if we really push it and decide to release it, or if we're going to say, okay, we are too far from what we can expect, and so we need to delay it or change our strategy. Maybe it's recruit a bigger team to work on that. So there's different possibilities, and that depends on a lot of things, of course.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah, but it's fantastic. You are looking at that stuff, and I mean, how big's the team now? I think this time last year it was 4 or 5.
Yeah, probably something like that. I think we how many are we, like 8 or 9, I think, at the moment.
So it's not been like you haven't, for what you put out in terms of dev updates, in terms of sort of things, it's still a very small team.
Yeah, I think for the dev update, we usually focus more on really the dev team, the development team. So recently we recruited Bastis, that was from MFL Manager. So that's also like, what is good is that he will be more on the engine, and he will be part engine and part product, because he has all the experience as a player. He also understands very deeply the community, etc. So that's really and he has very, very good ideas. He's like super good he's a mathematician. He has a doctorate, like he's a doctor in mathematics. So he's very good at both the product and the engine. So the idea is that he's working with Quentin on the engine, and so he will take over a bit more, and so it will also free some time for Quentin to work on the 3D as we were speaking. And then we've also recruited on the we have a new guy that is going to arrive in December on the product side, to really because we have a gap at the moment. I'm the one like really taking care of the product at the moment, and when we need to go deep into the operations, like creating wireframe, creating like really specific product, very detailed product specification, I don't have enough time now. So we're going to bring someone in to really work on that, to also work closer with the dev team, so that they can have really good specification and make their job easier for the future. And yeah, in the dev team, there's 5 people. Yann, Quentin, Guillaume, Bastien. So 4. There are 4. and in the marketing we are four or five marketing product, 4 or 5 people at the moment, myself including. And yeah, and we have also recruited our head of marketing that joined 2 weeks ago. His name is Jacques, and we are going to announce him tomorrow. I think in the dev update. We wanted to have to focus a bit more on the marketing activities, to have someone to really lead that. And Aviv left the company, stayed for 6 months. He was a freelancer, and he left the company in October. So we also needed someone else.
Yeah, and he was a lovely chap to deal with, actually.
Yeah, very nice guy.
I've got one more question, and then I think it might be time to sort of let you go. But first question, the last question then, from Risu Saka. I'm awful at pronouncing names, so I'll go with that.
I just call him Risu in my mind.
Yeah, Risu. Just say Risu. I won't try and pronounce the rest. He said, huge congrats. My question for Matt is, my huge goal is to have a club location on every of the 7 continents. At the moment, it sounds like he's got 6 of those continents, but can you manage that I could buy a club from Antarctic? So that's all 7 continents. I imagine that's something that's possible to implement, but finding the right place for that to be, I don't know. But
are there cities in Antarctic or no?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, in that region, yeah.
Okay.
And they're not big, but then some of the ones that we have already on MFL aren't particularly big, because especially when they're hometowns of people and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think it's what we did last time. It was we did a community. It was not really an event, but we asked the community which city they would like to see, which country they would like to add in terms of location for the clubs. So I think that's definitely something that we could redo. I don't think it's going to be like in the next following weeks or next following months. Probably something that we do later, but because I think what people don't realize is just that it takes a lot of time, because when we have all the entries of the players, then we need to make sure that the names are well written, that the city and the countries are matching well, that if we already have them, to make sure that there's no duplicates, because sometimes there is you can spell a city with the same city has more spelling, or if you add an accent on some city, then it's not super easy to do. So we try to.
Is it possible to introduce a city or a place without having to introduce players into the system from that place?
Yes. We can do that. Yeah.
Because from what I understand, reading on Google, there are no permanent cities or town in Antarctica, but there are settlements that are for people that come in and leave. So I guess it would be possible to have a place in there, but because there's no sort of permanent population from there, you wouldn't necessarily need players.
Yeah. We should see if that. Then it makes it a bit less realistic. That's the thing, but I don't know if it's a big issue. So I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes. I'm saying I don't know. Like I do for a lot of for quite often. But
everything is possible.
Everything is possible.
All right. Well, that's everything from me. I think we've got to. Oh, sorry. The last question. Where do you see MFL in 12 months? This is where your devs are going to get angry, depending on what you say. If we were sitting down this time next year, what would the site look like? What would the matches look like? Do you think they will be 3D by then, or do you think that's more sort of like real long term?
Well, yeah, I think I'm going to give my optimistic version, and I don't know how it would really look, but for me I would say that we have this 2.5D version, which is between 2D and 3D. I would think also that we have probably the training That is this new training system that we discussed.
Yeah, before we go on, Yax is in the chat and he says, "I'm listening."
Yeah. Okay. Yax, get ready. No, so yeah, I think probably a new training system that's working. That's working as I was saying, something like that. Probably. I know that it's there's a debate here, but maybe injuries also. I think some people like it, some people don't. I know that Laird doesn't like it too much, but
I guess
but
it
yeah,
depends on how long the injuries are for, but
yeah,
you may need to increase the squad size to sort of cater for that as well. But yeah, I guess anything's possible.
yeah, probably. I like what I like with the injuries is that it creates also a bit of I wouldn't say chaos, but a bit more like unexpected things that you cannot really plan. We already have the red cards, the yellow cards, but that don't have like a big impact at the moment. So I think injuries could be something interesting. And in any case, I think we would not do something like something very punitive. Like you won't be like it could be like a few matches out or something like that. What could I add? I really like that's something that I've already talked about in different streams, and that for the moment we've postponed. But I really like the mechanics of to have continental leagues. So like we have this big pyramid at the moment that will be the World League, and then some continental leagues like Europe League, European Continental League. North America and stuff like that, which create like different way to compete in different at different levels, maybe with different entry price that are lower for the clubs that you buy. Like instead of $80, you can buy them for cheaper. So yeah, that's basically how I see it. Probably also youth academies. Like something that we really like. Produces new players every season. So yeah, that's in terms of product, that's how I would see it. And in terms of in terms of users, of course, like a strong growth of users. I think I don't know like by how much like we could say, but I think we've probably, I don't know, like same time last year how many clubs we had, but I would say like 1,600, something like that.
Yeah.
So multiplied by 5, probably well, maybe not by 5, but we multiplied by 4 or 3.5 the number of clubs. So I would like that we continue to be in to go in that direction with maybe 3 times as many clubs or even more.
Excellent. It sounds like Yax is going to be a busy boy during the year anyway. But, but yeah, no, it's incredible. The as I said all along, the amount of stuff you have put out, the game have you created, the community behind the game, everything is just sort of, just works very well within the, obviously there's been a few blips with people sort of like moving back over to other products. Earlier, I think some of them will come back. But yeah, I think that the long term, if you pan out and look at the game over the course of the year, it's just been incredible growth. But
yeah, we are super happy with how things are going and the game and the community. I think it's really it's really cool to see like so much activity, so much passion, so much. Also, people are being like super friendly, helping each other on the Discord, etc. And that's something we're really proud and super happy with, and super lucky. We are, super lucky to have that.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us this time. Hopefully it won't be another year, although I probably forget. I always seem to forget everything. But I really appreciate you coming on the show, and I really appreciate all the support that you've given the Ramble, whether that be the Discord or like listeners of the show or just us in terms of like putting out the content. The support that we've felt from MFL, and I'm sure, Hoodwink, Hatton and Kev would all agree that you've been fantastic support to us as well over the course of the year. So we really appreciate that.
Cool. No, but thank you. It's really a pleasure. And as I was saying, like, really don't hesitate if you need anything. We are like super. Actually, it should be me thanking you, because like it's really amazing what you're doing for the community, for MFL. Of course, like having this kind of very regular podcast, really regular streams about MFL is super is wonderful and amazing to see for us. And so yeah, we really happy about that, and really appreciate all the content that you're putting out. And so thanks a lot for that.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Right.
Yeah, thank you.
This week. And we'll be back next week. As I said earlier, hopefully we're going to do a rewards pack stream on Tuesday afternoon, then probably do this show as always on Wednesday, but we'll have to see. But yeah, hopefully that's the plan at the moment. But we shall be back. Bye.